First supercar on the channel. I won it, guys. No way. Audi R8 is mine. Some of you guys have seen that I bought an Audi R8 from auction, sold as seen. When it arrived, we confirmed the engine to be a non-runner, and the reason being a seized engine. That only means one thing. It's engine out time. In the last video, we got as far as removing the engine and taking the cylinder heads off to where we found no damage at all. Today, we stripped the bottom end of the engine, and this is really where it gets serious. Oh damn, that is metal right there, that's metal filings. Oh flipping, this is exactly what we were looking for. So, new day today. As you saw in the last video, we started stripping the V10 engine out. We removed both the cylinder heads so far and found no damage whatsoever. The block, the liners, the pistons, the cylinder head, the valves, everything looks good so far. But because we come so far, we've decided to go to the bottom end as well and just have a look, just to see how things are going down there. Which means, if you come over here, we now need to remove the gearbox. This is the DL800, Lamborghini, Huracan and Audi R8 V10 gearbox. We're going to remove the gearbox off, put this engine, spin it around, open the sump and inspect the crank, the convert bearings and the main bearings as well. We then can start ordering parts to assemble this engine back up, hopefully go for the first start. Isn't it crazy that I took the engine and gearbox out of the Audi R8 and so far removed the cylinder heads and found absolutely no problems on it? It's crazy. We also removed the engine filter, the oil filter, and found no cuttings in it. So for those of you that watched part one, you'll remember that when we checked the engine first time, the engine was completely seized. And since we've taken the engine out of the car and started to strip things down, it's starting to loosen up and now it's actually moving as it should. The crank is actually turning. There's only one thing I can think about that. The car's been parked up for a very, very long time, and due to being parked up, it's just got stuck. It has happened before. I've seen it happen on cars before. And I'm assuming the person who inspected the car last checked the starter motor, as remember that wasn't working. So the starter motor was fried, and they checked the engine, and when they did so, they found the engine seized, let the owner know the bill, and I guess he just sent it to Copart at that point, where I found the car, and started to really find out what's going on with it. So I guess we need to now strip the bottom end, the sump, check the crankshaft, the bearings, and then we'll take it from there. Not to mention, when the car come here, all the spark plugs, the ignition coils are removed. There was like at least 50, 60 bolts missing as well. There's so many things we've got to buy for this car, because the last person that inspected it didn't put it back in. It's just a bit of a messy job. So the gearbox is secured by about 10 of these bolts. So we just got them removed. We can now disconnect the gearbox from the engine and get started with the strip down for the bottom end. Bloody hell. Look at all that coolant coming out of the block. So gearbox bolts now removed. We're now going to use a pry bar to gently ease it off the block to separate it out, and then we'll use the engine crane to lift it up in the air and out the way so we can get free space to start working on this block and flip it upside down where the crankshaft will be located. So the gearbox is quite attached to the engine, doesn't seem to want to let go. So we're using two pry bars from two sides to ease it off. There you have it. Gearbox is removed. Wow, look at that, man. That's got a hell of a lot of rust on it. It's definitely been exposed to some sort of water or something.
Yeah, have to be water.
100%. Rust comes from water. This side looks pretty good. Look at that, more sign of water. Look at this bit here. This is the part where it was exposed. It would have been from this gap here, isn't it? Yeah, so right here, this is where the starter motor sits. And I'm assuming once it was removed, for whatever reason, it must have been left outside or something, I don't know. But somehow, water on the flywheel. Let's continue to strip further and we'll see if we find anything else. So what we're going to do before we flip the engine over is remove any ancillaries. So alternator, engine mounts, anything you see pretty much around the engine. So out of everything we've seen on the strip down of this engine is this rust that we see, especially in this area here. Could this have caused the problem for the engine to be seized at the start when we first checked? There's a lot of rust there. Now if you come back to the gearbox, look at that, same over there as well. So definitely water has entered somehow in these areas. Look on that sensor, you got a bit of rust as well. So, I mean, we're going to put it on there now and just give it a spin, see how that goes. Look at that, nice free movement, no issues whatsoever over there. So here we have the main timing chain cover. We're just removing the bolts at the moment before we remove this, and this will then expose the timing chain for this car. So from what I know about these V10 engines, the timing chain looks very, very complex. Can't wait to show you guys once this is open. There you go. Look at that, man. That's what you call a timing chain setup. Insane. So this side of the block is pretty much stripped now. I'll show you guys something. Look at that. Lamborghini, Audi, Germany. So engine is in the air now. Next up, we're going to remove this crazy looking thermostat housing, and I believe the water pump is in there as well. And you got all these like shafts and stuff on this engine which run alongside the timing chain. It's a crazy complex engine. This is complex but simple when you understand things. So that's the oil pump chain over here. Oil pump goes down there somewhere. Because if you look down this side, this sprocket, there's a shaft here, and this attaches over here to the AC compressor. It's insane. You got shafts running the AC compressor on this car. Oh crap, look at this.
Fucking joke.
There you go.
Yes, it is.
Let me see. Oh, one second. Oh damn, that is metal right there. That's metal filings. Oh flipping. This is exactly what we were looking for. Some sort of problem inside. This confirms exactly what. This is a piece of a bearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like the bearing spun. Ah, it's not good, man. It's not good. So that there, I'll show you again. This piece is literally off the bearing, which basically runs along the crankshaft. And that is not a good sign, because you shouldn't see metal pieces coming off. And now I can see why this didn't make it to the oil filter, because look how fine it is. Not even fine, it's quite large. So you see this gauze here, strainer, it's caught it before it even went to the oil filter. Hence why we didn't see no cuttings in it. So we're gonna continue to strip it down, pinpoint exactly what's wrong with this engine. I just hope I don't need a new engine block, because this block here for a V10, not cheap at all. And you can't even get a used one. Very hard to get hold of these parts. It's like gold dust. That's the fate of this Audi R8 engine, seems like. Let's continue.
You gonna sleep now?
No, not yet.
I don't think so.
I'll sleep when I know how much the build cost me, man. This ain't gonna be cheap, guys. I'm telling you right now. When it's a V10, the word cheap goes out the way. Except for the project though. Cheapest Audi R8 in the country. For sure, yeah. Right now, we're about to pry this sump open. This is the most nervousing part for me. We're about to find out how bad this engine is. Con rods, crank, pistons, everything is in there right now. And the next step would be to remove the bolts for the rods, remove the mains, remove this cover, and that can allow us to open the crankshaft and inspect it. This here is a crank cradle. This is where the crankshaft gets held down from the main bearings, and obviously where the piston and the conrods are, those are held down by the conrods itself. So once we remove this, we can then see what's causing the engine to seize up. Remember, the engine can get seized in the bottom end in two ways, either the conrod or the mains. So once we remove this main and spin it, if it does start spinning at that point, that means there's a problem with the mains. If we remove the mains and it's still stuck, definitely one of the conrods there's a problem. One or more conrods will have a problem. And in order to remove the crank cradle, you got to remove the timing chain, because you can see the chain is wrapped around the crankshaft, and if this goes up, the chain ain't going to let go anywhere. So to remove the chain tensioners, both of them, get the chain off, cradle off, almost there. The V10 is stripped. Alright guys, there you go. Main cradle is off. And I'm looking at the bearing straight away. Look, the thrust washer is there. That's normal, it just come off now. The mains are perfectly fine, man. So far. That is good, man. That's what I was hoping for. Look, this is the wear of the bearings on the mains. Again, looks very normal. But thank God, the mains are fine so far. And I can't see that stopping the engine from turning. It's gonna be one of these con rods here. We just gotta locate what and where. So if you look at that, you can see there's some black marks around that. That's the sign that there's been a lot of heat there. Where does heat come from? Lack of lubrication. Ooh. Now that there is our problem. That is bearings, convert bearings. And where is it? It's wrapped around the crankshaft. That is the problem and why the engine is seized. And what would have happened here is it would have grabbed onto the crankshaft and spun with it. That's what we call spun bearings.
Spun as well.
Yeah. What I tell you guys before, this one was also a spun bearing on that journal as well. And now that we removed it, if there are no other con rods with damages on them, we should be able to spin the engine. All we can tell you at this point is the main bearings are good and the con rods are not so good. Therefore, we're going to need new con rods, definitely an oil pump, and I'll explain more about that in the next video. So yeah, new con rods, new con rod bearings. The crankshaft's going to have to go machine shop to be checked if you can get it machined. If not, we're going to need a new crankshaft. Of course, all the other bits and pieces, timing chain kit, head gaskets, head bolts and whatnot. I'll definitely make a list for everything so we can know what everything's going to cost. Crankshaft out. So the Audi R8 V10 engine is now fully stripped out. The pistons, the con rods, the crankshaft, the block, the cylinder heads, timing chains, everything fully. It's now a bare block, and we've got spun bearings on the con rods. So it's quite simple at this point. I need a big list of parts to order. We're gonna have to put it all down in one sheet with the costings and take it from there really. And then once I get the parts back, we're gonna assemble the engine back up and throw it in and give this beast a start for the very first time. The first supercar on the channel. Very excited to share the journey with you. We'll catch up in the next video. This is Nams from Boost Performance. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if it's the first time you're on my channel. And other than that, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.